What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop, and this week we're back to work on Project Prelude's body. So we're going to get started straightening these quarters out and starting to get some of the patches welded in and maybe get it in some high build primer. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let us know what you want to see, let us know what you like, let us know what you don't like. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and just rub all over this thing. Just get all up in these hips and just rub on them. We're going to find all the dents. I'm just going to go ahead and circle them with a pencil. This side is pretty beat up. But we'll just find all of the dents using our hands to feel our way around, and those will be the areas we start addressing right off the bat. So that dent actually goes a little farther over. Boy, I tell you what, this side is terrible. Alright guys, it's been about a day and a half since I talked to you last. Did some time-lapse footage of getting the patch panels cut and kind of positioned in there, and got this one, got them both sandblasted, got that one sprayed and weld through primer, and then ran out on that one. So this one's just got a little bit on it, it's still just bare metal. So I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow to go buy another can of weld through primer. So I think what I'm gonna do tonight, so I don't waste a night, is we will get started on, we're going to bump off some of these areas here, and then we'll start spreading a little bit of mud on them, and then we'll go right up the quarter panel and into the roof section. Start getting some of these areas smoothed out a little bit. I'm not too worried about it because all the heat's going to be focused down there, so I don't have to worry about any of this stuff getting too hot and peeling off. So let's start spreading some mud. Alright guys, I'm getting ready to call it a night. Got 2 coats of filler on this. There's a couple spots could need a little bit more addressing, a little bit right in there, right in here, and then again right in here. This whole area, because you're sanding off of this high point here, back to here. Most of these areas usually are a little bit low right here just because of the deformation from this angle there when it's pressed. So we'll probably end up chasing that a little bit farther out, making it a little bigger. Got the back side of the roof 3/4 of the way done here. Just look at all these circles all the way down. It's probably going to correlate to like maybe a spot weld in here somewhere. You know, there's one right there, which would be right in here. Another one right there. So that's just factory sheet metal puckering up a little bit. It's not that obvious when it's painted, but if we want to make a nice flat surface, we got to go ahead and address all these issues. In the front here, pretty much got everything worked out on this side. There's still a gnarly dent right there and a little bit right here, and that's from parking under that walnut tree and letting walnut bombs drop on it. So I did start sanding on the engine bay a little bit, just in between. So one thing I would recommend is make sure you have 2 or 3 separate areas of the body going at once. So while you're putting body filler on the driver's side, you can go sand the passenger side, or you can go block sand the engine bay, and then you can go back there once you smear a little primer on. So have the car in multiple different stages so you can always keep working. You don't have to just wait for Bondo to dry and waste time. So that being said, I started block sanding out the engine bay. Got the core support pretty close. High spot, high spot, high spot. Inner fender area actually came out pretty well. There's a handful of high spots, but yeah, I think it's going to look good. So we've got a lot more work to do. So I'm going to call it a night, and we'll get back at it in the afternoon. So later. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. So I didn't record any the last couple nights, but got some more mud spread on all these bad spots and got them pretty much ready for primer. Went over on the other side and did the same thing. And I got the patch panels sprayed and weld through. So while I'm waiting for a little bit of mud to dry on the passenger side, I'm going to go ahead and start getting these patches welded in here. The goal would be to try to get these pretty close to welded in tonight, and then maybe possibly just get this thing in high build right here with these body worked areas, so we can just keep moving forward, making baby steps. So let's get some patch panels welded in. What do you think about that? I think that's what we need to do, so let's get to it. Alright guys, well, I got the outer wheelhouse patch in right there, as you can see, and then I fogged it with primer all back in there while I had this open, so I can make sure I sealed this up so we don't have to worry about any rust from welding it in, you know, and burning off any primer we had on the backside. So while that dries, because I don't want to start welding this on and then start all that primer on fire, because that would be a step backwards, I guess. I went ahead and scuffed all the epoxy primer in the areas we've done the body work. And I think what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to mix up some feather fill, some high build polyester primer. I'm going to go ahead and just shoot this area throughout here so we can start blocking it all the way up here, get the roof shot, because I think that's pretty close. And I don't know, maybe we might spray a little bit on the A-pillars. And then over here on the passenger side, we have done a little bit of patch here, a little dent here. This side's a lot straighter for some reason. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of fog these areas with that primer, the high build, same with that. I'm not going to do the whole quarter. I might do this section here because we are still going to have to patch that, and we are still going to have to do that. So we put too much heat in it, it's going to have it's going to affect the primer we put down. So I'm not too worried about getting any build on this. I just want to go ahead and seal this in and get that locked in while it's nice clean metal. So we're going to get it wiped out and mix up some primer. Alright guys, when we're wiping this stuff out, I've already blown it all off really good, but we want to make sure, especially in these areas here, that any of that gray and dirt on there, we want to make sure that we wipe that off till the towel's clean, because we don't want to leave any residue behind and contaminate our paint. So we'll get this wiped out. Make sure you're flipping your towel over, and we'll get this wiped out and go mix up some primer. Alright guys, a helpful tip here is go ahead and, if you're going to be doing any amount of body work, well, like more than one car, go ahead and order yourself 100 of these off eBay for like $34. And screw cleaning those things out, because you got to pay a couple bucks for those at the auto body store, but get them on eBay, you can get 100 of them for $34. Alright, again, we are going to be spraying feather fill polyester primer. We're probably going to mix up about a half quart here. Not going to mix up a whole lot. We're just going to try to get everything nice and wet, maybe do 2 coats. We're not really worried about getting it in super high build right now. I just want to get it sealed up before it starts to rust. Alright guys, we're going to call it a wrap for this one. We got a little block sanding done and started welding some patch panels in, and then we got this thing in high build primer in the areas that we put some filler in. So all these areas right here, they're nice and flat again. It's good to see this thing without giant dents in the side. So we will let that sit for a while, let it set up. I will start putting that patch panel in there, and then we'll get to work on the passenger side patch panel. But that's going to be a wrap for this one. Stay tuned next week, and we'll start welding some sheet metal on, and we'll keep working on body work, and we'll get this thing done. All right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We'll catch you on the next one.